Namo Narayana and welcome back. We're working our way through the last two videos of the Sata Sloki by Adi Shankar. In the last one I voiced a frustration. I want to know something that he isn't telling us, and about the dream sleep and the waking world, the deep sleep, and the waking world, and how the body connects or doesn't connect. He's not answering his own question. It's frustrating me. You can go back and watch the video because then it will be clear. Let's start today with verse 81. When the Nakri in front is not known to be Saksh, it is mistaken for silver. The sun's rays falling on sand create the illusion of water. A rope is mistaken for a snake in dim light. These appearances last only for a short time till the substratum is known. The appearance of silver causes joy, and the appearance of the snake gives rise to fear, but all these appearances are clearly false. The silver, water, and snake are created only when they are seen. Similarly, the multifarious names and forms which we see around us appear only because the substratum, the self, is not known. They also cause such emotions as joy, sorrow, and fear. They are created only when they are perceived. They have no real existence apart from the substratum, the self. Since I am the substratum for the superimposition of the universe by Maya, this entire universe is brought forth by me. Therefore, all these creatures are in me, but I am not in them. Though illusory, silver appears on nacre. There is no trace of nacre in silver. The superimposed object appears on the substratum, but we cannot say that the substratum is contained in the superimposed object. But in reality, these creatures do not dwell in me, because they have no real existence and are only the creation of Maya. So said Lord Krishna. Therefore, all the things perceived are only like objects conjured up by magic, and so unreal. The ignorant, deluded man, not realizing that his own past karma is the cause of his joys and sorrows, wrongly believes that his friends are the source of his joys and his enemies the source of his sorrows. To remove this wrong notion, the sages Yajnavalkya and Artabhaga declared in the palace of King Janaka that a person's karma alone is the cause of his joys and sorrows and of repeated births. They praised the power of karma. Lord Krishna, the great ornament of the Yadava race, has said in the Bhagavad Gita that no one can remain inactive even for a moment. For cutting a tree, an axe is the instrument, but it has to be lifted up by a human hand and brought down with force on the tree, which means that it is the action of a sentient being that cuts the tree. Food no doubt satisfies hunger, but only if it is put in the mouth and swallowed by the eater. Similarly, though the accumulated result of good and bad actions of past lives is the cause of a person experiencing joys and sorrows, the actions themselves are not capable of giving the results, since they are insentient and come to an end as soon as they are completed. It is the Lord, who is the indwelling self, and the inner controller of all, who dispenses the results of past actions. Various obligatory rites as well as optional rites for the fulfillment of specific desires are laid down for the different castes and the stages of life by the Dharma Shastras. The Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita declare that if these rites are performed as an offering to Brahma, without desire for the fruit, they confer very attractive results in the form of purity of mind, which is the essential prerequisite for the attainment of self-realization. Just as an individual can be pleased by the offer of something which pleases his organs of sense and action, and a tree is nourished by pouring water at the root, the Supreme Lord is pleased along with the various deities by the offerings of all actions to the Lord. A person who has acquired considerable religious merit by studying the Vedas and performing the rites laid down, but dies without knowing the self, will have all his merit extinguished after a brief period of enjoyment in heaven. He will then be born again on the earth and will become subject to suffering. But a person who has acquired knowledge of the self and is striving for realization will enjoy great happiness in the higher worlds for a long time, even if he has not become free from desires and dies before actual direct realization of the self. And a person who has become totally free from desires attains supreme bliss on actually realizing the self. One should therefore meditate on the self alone and strive for direct realization. It is not by the light of the sun or moon or fire alone that objects become visible to us. The light of the sun, moon, or fire cannot itself make even the sun, moon, or fire perceptible to us. These luminaries are seen by us only when the self or consciousness functions through the eyes. We cannot see the sun even if daytime if we close our eyes. We do not see the sun or fire when we are asleep or if we are blind. It therefore follows that it is only by the light of the self that even the sun, moon, and fire are seen. The eyes, ears, and other sense organs are able to see, hear, etc. only by the light of the self. Thus the self is the only light for all. The individual drinks water and eats food with the help of the prana, or vital force. This prana has 5 different names according to the 5 functions performed by it. These are prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana. The digestive fire in the stomach, strengthened by prana in its aspect known as samana, digests the food slowly or quickly. Vyana distributes the essence of the digested food to all the organs. The foul-smelling waste matter is thrown out by the body of apana. Prana, the vital force, which is the ruler of all the organs and gives them the power to perform their activities, has 5 different names, namely prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana, according to the 5 different activities performed. This prana, which is well established in each body, is able to perform all these activities only because of the presence of Brahma, or the self, who is the pure consciousness. This Brahman is therefore called the prana of prana, in the sense that it is what enables the prana to perform its activities. It is also the eye of the eye, because it is only because of the presence of the self that the eye is able to see. Similarly, all the other organs of sense and action get the power to perform their respective activities only because of the presence of the self. At the same time, the self is a mere witness of the activities of all the organs. It does not itself either act or make the organs act because it is actionless. I am this self, and not the mind, organs, or the physical body. And we will pause here. There was a line I read. Oh, where is it? Here it is. I thought this was just a great little catchphrase. It said, "The self is the only light for all." Oh, that was really great. Basically, this is the line that came at the end where I was talking about we can't see through the eye. It is the self we can't see things through the eye without the self. If we're blind or the eyes are closed or whatever, it doesn't matter. Even if we have eyes, we can't see anything without them, without the self inside us. The self is the light that makes all this stuff go. Thus, the self is the only light for all. Wow, that's a great line. That's a great line for today's modern society. That was a great little part there. I'm not going to really say much about it. I think it's really self-explanatory. He said this before. Adi Shankar's written on this so many times. Often he uses the phrase like, I am Brahma, I am Shiva. This time he's not doing this. He's being much more rational. Did find it interesting, though, that he mentioned Krishna. I think this is the first time I've seen Krishna mentioned by Adi Shankar. I consider him a follower of Shiva and not a follower of Krishna or Vaishnava, so it was really interesting to see him mention the Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah, that's all for me. We got one more video in the Sata Sloki, then we'll finish this up. I wish I'd read this a long time ago. This has been a really good one. I hope you agree. And hope you've enjoyed this tour through Adi Shankar, and I've learned as much as I have. And so I'll catch you in one more video, and then we'll wrap up our Adi Shankar look, and we'll move on to some other things. So until then, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.